No matter what industry or department you work in, there's been a lot of buzz around the customer experience lately. The journey a customer takes through the sales cycle and beyond has moved to the forefront of business leaders' minds, and for good reason. Walker Information predicted in 2016 that by this year, customer experience would become more important in choosing a brand than price or even the product itself. Welcome back to Esker On Air. Today we're going to take a deep dive into what customer experience is all about here at Esker. Three of my fellow customer advocates, Becky Mender, Jairus Harper, and Sara Hanson, will serve as our panel of experts on all things CX. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us on today's podcast. To help the audience get to know each of you better, can you tell me a little bit about CX at Esker and why you decided to become a customer advocate?
Oh, thanks, Scott. Thanks for the question. I decided to become a CX advocate here at Esker simply because I really wanted to help some of our customers see through some of their process improvement goals and ensure that they get that ROI and help them justify to their bosses, managers, friends, why they decided to choose Esker. CX here at Esker to me means a continuous partnership. We are there after your post go live, after your project. We're here to help you reach some of those goals that I've mentioned earlier by training, by status calls, or simply just by chatting from time to time. I consider my role here at Esker to truly be an extension of your Esker application.
Hello, my name is Sara Hanson. Thanks, Scott, for having us today. Let me begin with some of my background. I began my Esker career implementing and training the collections management solution a couple of years ago. I've since transitioned to the CX advocate role with a focus on our invoice delivery and collections management solutions. Being a CX advocate is a great fit for me because I truly enjoy discussing best practices, effective strategies, and maximizing efficiency. I love empowering my customers to become CX champions so they can provide the best customer experience for their end users through our interactions, as well as documentation that's available to them. If there are challenges that a customer is facing, I want to turn these into opportunities together through meaningful collaboration.
Awesome. Thanks, Sara. And good afternoon, everyone. And Scott, thanks again for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. For everyone who's out there listening, my name is Becky Mender, and I am also a customer advocate here at Esker. And I have been working at Esker for close to 13 years now. Most of that was spent on the sales side, but over the last few years, I have transitioned to the customer experience team. And I just want to address one of the questions that you had originally asked about, Scott, and that's how did Esker adopt CX? So to give everyone just a little bit of background on that, it was May of 2016 when we started having some serious discussions on the topic of customer experience, and due to the nature of that particular topic and how big it is and how many different directions you can go in, we realized that we could definitely use some help, and we ended up bringing in a third-party consulting firm to help us to conduct some customer interviews, as well as to help us do customer journey mapping, which is a pretty intensive workshop. In fact, at one of our in-person meetings, we asked for some additional customer feedback to help us out. And Scott, I know you're particularly fond of this story. Do you want to provide us some additional insight on that?
Yeah, I always thought this was pretty cool. We put on an event for a lot of our customers here every year and a half. It's called EAUC. And at EAUC, we asked a lot of our customers to vote on what words they would use to describe a positive customer experience. And how they wanted Esker to make them feel with every interaction. Some of the words they could have chosen were things like appreciated, fulfilled, safe, trusted, things like that. Ultimately, the vast majority of our customers really focused in on three words, and that was valued, understood, and engaged.
Yep, you got it. So it's pretty cool that we were able to take what our customers wanted, which is obviously the ultimate goal of our team, is to enhance the customer experience. And we ended up turning those 3 words into our customer experience promise. And to kind of just expand upon that a little bit, when we talk about valued, what we mean is that we'll be honest and respectful of your time, and we'll do what we promise. We'll also collaborate together as one team. When we talk about understood, we mean that we'll actively listen, acknowledging your needs and expectations, and we'll continually strive to recognize what is truly important to you. And when we say engaged, what we mean is that we'll make personal connections by being proactive, providing information, and always learning more. This is an initiative that Esker has taken seriously right from the start. In fact, we went from having just one CX person in 2017, that's our manager and CX founder, Joe Hanasek, to having 8 people hired on the customer experience team at the end of 2018. And now we have 14 on our customer experience team here in the US, including the 4 of us on this call. But we've also branched out globally. We have a total of about 25 people worldwide Esker that provide customer experience to our customers. And just to add one last piece of insight, in the US here, we're broken out into ambassadors, which is our training team, and then advocates, which you've probably heard us mention a few times. And what we mean by that is account managers. So we're assigned to specific accounts to kind of be main points of contact.
Yeah, Becky, and to add on to that, one of the main goals of our team was to work with customers post-implementation to ensure that they don't feel alone and help them achieve those goals and continue with their process improvement initiatives, like I mentioned earlier. It's real important for us here at Esker to ensure that you guys are using the system, you're happy with the system after post-go live, and you're not left out to the wolves, so to speak.
Yeah, and so speaking to day-to-day what we do here, what does being a customer advocate look like? How do you help your customers on a day-to-day basis?
Let me begin with proactive engagement. That is something that we do quite often. And my piece will be talking specifically about new features and enhancements. Esker's collections management solution offers new features and enhancements each month, which allows customers to better utilize their solution. The CX team likes to notify our customers through several methods. The first one being our monthly newsletters. That is something that is both in the solution as well as something that our marketing team emails out to everyone. So this means that anything that will be deployed or that is deployed and what's coming soon, as well as for features. The second thing is the Esker All Access platform. This is a great platform for customers to interact with other Esker users and the Esker team in general. The CX team will post tips and tricks each month, and oftentimes it can be more detailed about that feature that we're talking about. For example, there was a major overhaul to the collection strategy user interface in January. I led an online discussion on Esker All Access when this was deployed so that we can get some questions and feedback directly from our customers. The third option is our AR user group events, which allow our customers to connect and discuss hot topics, which Esker helps to facilitate. We are looking into scheduling something virtual for this coming September. And the last thing we offer is Consulta Pros. These are done throughout the year and always based on feedback from our customers. What are they interested in? What do they have questions on the most? We often include new features to discuss on these webinars. We do have one that's upcoming for the collections management solution called Troubleshooting Issues and Providing a Superior Experience for Your Customers on August 26th. And this is actually something that's going to be led by Scott and our colleague, Joe Anderson. And the basis of this was just our customers are often asking us, what do their customers see? What do they experience when they're on the online portal? What does that look like? And how can I better assist and troubleshoot with my customers? So this webinar will cover all of that.
Awesome. So Becky here. One thing that I spend a lot of my days on is creating reports for customers. So they'll come to me with specific requests, and then I will take a look in their environment and put those reports together, or we can work on those together to really tweak and make sure that they are what the customer is needing. I also answer some document recognition questions, such as why did this capture or why didn't it capture correctly? But I also spend a lot of my time helping with process improvement initiatives. On the order management side, that's likely reducing touch points, understanding why fields are being touched, and focusing on how to reduce processing time. In those cases, I like to start by looking at and diving into data. So running reports, exporting information, and pivoting it, and really taking a close look and figuring out, what am I looking at? What am I seeing? What are the trends? Is it based specific on customer? Is there anything that we're seeing there? Is it specific fields? But unfortunately, there's only so much information that the data provides, and that's where it's really, really nice to partner with the customer to continue our investigation process. In some cases, we've scheduled calls where we ask the end users to bring their questions, or we dive into document examples together on the phone. That way I can get a better understanding of what the end user is seeing, and I can help to address those questions on the fly. I also really enjoy when I have the opportunity to be able to sit with users and watch them work. We do this sometimes in person, which is really helpful because then we can see what's going on outside of the Esker screen. So sometimes people will be getting information from their ERP system. Maybe they have information that they copy and paste from an online notepad, or maybe they have an actual physical notepad that they're looking at and getting information from. So it's really insightful to be able to see what exactly is going on, just to have a better idea. We also do these virtually, and I had the opportunity to do several of these sessions since working at home, and I found that that was really great and especially useful because then I was able to record the sessions and go back and take a closer look at some things after the fact. So there's definitely pluses to both sides. So what we're looking for when we do these types of sessions is feedback from the user, watching which fields that they're filling in and asking why, as well as trying to observe and see if there's any opportunities for maybe a refresher training. Then what we typically do, I'll type up all of my notes, I'll create a spreadsheet with the different observations and suggestions, and from there, meet with the customer to review all of the different options and work together on a plan, determine what we want to tackle or prioritize first, and then go about executing on the plan. So I do spend a lot of time working directly with customers and helping them to meet their different business goals. Jairus, what about you?
Thanks, Becky. My day-to-day here at Esker consists of me mostly just meeting with a lot of my clients, meeting with customers, talking through some of those issues. But I like to really bang the drum here on continuous improvement and what should all of our customers, or what should a potential customer expect out of CX. So one of our goals, obviously, is to help you guys, your company, maximize efficiency and productivity with using a tool. We also want to make sure that your interactions with the CX folks here at Esker are positive as well. So one of the ways that we use, one of the techniques or tools or meetings that we use to ensure this is by having a quarterly engagement call. So what are those quarterly engagement calls? It's where we meet on a regular basis to go over some productivity, user metrics, usage data, and trends, and do some of that analysis that Becky mentioned earlier. I enjoy especially the first engagement call simply because it's where we can all meet with a lot of some stakeholders, some managers, people who are really invested in a solution where we can meet and I can see the wheels start to spin after that first engagement call, because they've used the system for 60, 90 days at that point. They kind of have an idea of what they want to dissect and explore using the data that we have in Esker, and where they think the bottlenecks exist and where we can potentially help. And I enjoy helping them along and getting them closer to their process improvement goals. Another way that we help is your business may change. We understand that. You may split, you may acquire. Here in CX, we can help ensure you that we can give you the best services possible. So I've had customers who've acquired companies and they wanted us to help them get onto the Esker application. I've directed them to our awesome professional services team if they are on a different ERP. I've had customers who've decided to change the way their AP users are processing in an Esker. So instead of working out of one big bucket, they preferred that we split up their responsibilities either regional base or by the alphabet. So Mary Sue only processes vendors from A to C, and Don processes vendors from G to Z, for example. So we also really love working with customers and expanding their use of Esker. Maybe there's another module that they think that Esker provides that they think would be beneficial to their customers. So I love educating them on that particular module and then getting them over to the appropriate resources here at Esker so they can explore that process.
Great. And then final question for you guys. If each of you could give one piece of advice to anyone listening for how to best take advantage of a customer experience team, and whether it's at Esker or anywhere else, what would it be?
I would say, thanks, great question, Scott. I would say use all available tools at your disposal. We here at Esker, we provide our end users, our customers, a great documentation site that has information on what to expect from the application, how it should behave, how it shouldn't behave. We have video tutorials that walk you through how to use the solution, as well as what Sara mentioned earlier, our EAA website. Take advantage of all the tools that an organization provides for you to better help you understand the application that you're investing in. And that way you can help ensure your team, your organization is really working towards achieving that ROI.
In regards to your collections management solution, my number one recommendation is reviewing and reassessing your collection strategy. This revolves around payment reminders, account statements, and collection call rules. Take a look post implementation, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, keeping it fresh and updated based on feedback from your customer, your department, or other internal teams will provide greater success with your collections efforts. For one example, I have a customer who will routinely who will frequently change the wording on their payment reminders with amusing things to his customers. And this kind of changes the pace and expectations as well, kind of just keeping everything a little bit more lively and fresh for the customers. And he's actually gotten great feedback about this, and the customers do really appreciate that he's taking the time and effort to change it up for them.
And I would echo what Jairus was saying in that make sure that you're utilizing all of the resources to your full advantage, including the customer experience team. What I would really recommend is coming to them with a goal in mind, or working with them to figure out where the bottlenecks are, and then selecting 1 or 2 different goals that you want to be able to work towards. Your customer experience rep is going to have a lot of experience. They're going to know what others in your industry or others that they've worked with have been able to achieve, so they can kind of give you some guidelines on what you should be striving for. But when you have more of a narrow goal, or when you have just 1 or 2 things that you want to work towards, it really allows you to focus your time on those specific activities. and to meet on a regular basis so that you can kind of figure out together if things are going in the right direction, if things aren't necessarily progressing the way that you want them to, and you can definitely tweak as you go along. So definitely make sure that if you do have resources available, that you get in contact with them and that you work with them and utilize them to their full potential.
Well, Sara, Becky, Jairus, thank you so much for sharing your expertise here today. Thank you again to our listeners for joining us. As always, if you're looking for more information on digital transformation in your business processes, you can find us at www.esker.com. Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you next time.